It's Friday, and I can't tell you how excited I am to see the weekend. Now, our Friday shows are your go-to for the biggest, boldest, and sometimes wildest stories of the week. So sit back or not, do whatever you want, but definitely strap in for an hour of the best talk on TV. It's Hot Topics Friday, and as usual, the stories we're bringing you today are intense, emotional, and absolutely necessary. We're moving from questionable parenting choices to institutional failure, and a debate that's got Nigerians calling each other out and asking, are we really the problem? Well, we have a lot to unpack. But first, News Central held its latest town hall on Thursday in Makurdi, the capital of Benue State. This had to be one of the most emotional town halls that we've had, and you will soon see why. Survivors and stakeholders spoke about the violence that gripped the state and much of Nigeria's Middle Belt region. The stories were very hard to hear, but we need to be heard because these are people's lives we're talking about. They are not just numbers and headlines for fathers, mothers, sisters, brothers, daughters, sons, loved ones, and friends. Here are some of their stories.
So I left the place, and while I was going, I now saw some other Fulani men, and I asked them who owns this cattle. So they said they don't know. So why I made to move, before I discovered a cutlass on my hand. So the man was cutting me with cutlass and was asking me why I would not let their cattle to feed on my crops. So I started running. Because I ran because there was no way I could fight them. So the man in whose house I was staying went to report the incident. So, and the security refused to attend to it.
Around 10 p.m., the Fulanis entered. They started shooting. They didn't shoot for too long, then they came to our door. They struck down the door. They entered and started cutting my children with machetes. They killed my children and my mother. They cut them with machetes. It was too much for her, and she held on her hands to the roof. Thank you. The roof. Then they now put fire to the house. The fire caught the roof, and she managed to drop and run out. She says she cannot speak much because right now her heart is broken.
They killed my husband's people, and they went back to Ayibe and killed my father and my sister. Even up till now, they have not stopped, and they have forced all of us in our community into IDP camps. All my relations, all my community is in IDP, and we cannot do anything, we cannot farm, we cannot even go about. Even when we go, even when we go on the roads, on bikes, they attack our bikes and they kill us, they collect our bikes. When we go to the bush to get firewood, they attack us and they kill us. When we go to the farms to get foods for our families and our children, they still attack us and kill us. They are even attacking us, the women, in the bushes and raping us simply because we go to the bush to get firewood and to get food for our family.
So these were just some of the stories that came out yesterday during the 11th News Central Town Hall. I can't believe we've done 11 of these, but this had to be probably the most emotional one for me. I was in the MCR producing from here in the office, and it was difficult. So we had traditional rulers present, we had some security agencies represented, we had an essay to the governor, but one of the things that was also clear is that there are a number of people who said that this was not farmer-herders clashes. This was not that it's something else. It's beyond just clashes. But when you hear a man tell you that because he told people that their cows cannot eat his crops, and then they take a cutlass to his hand and cut off his hand, it makes you ask so many questions. We spoke to, Bernard spoke to David yesterday, and David was also at the town hall, who lost his wife and 3 sons in the attack in Yelewata. And we had a man who spoke and lost 9 family members, and people are just sharing. And even in the IDP camps, they're not
when
safe.
They were talking about it,
they're shooting and they can't sleep with their eyes closed.
They've made peace with that because they talk as if they're still.
Did you see that one? Do you think the woman who was sharing her story was okay?
No.
How can she?
How can she be okay?
It's okay, and you're right. It's not as this incident or this it's not in. It's gone on for so long. That's my own. It's not something that's a singular act. This has gone on so long under the current. And you know how we are. It is well. We manage things. We just say because it's not obvious yet, because we just keep pushing it under the rug, sweeping it under the rug, sweeping it under the rug until it gets to a head like this.
You
can't say that they have worked.
I would consider it a failure.
And then the government of the state, though.
They have failed the people of Benue State. The government that is sitting in the helm of affairs, part of the oath they took is to make sure that they protect lives and properties. It's easy to reel out numbers, but just as we said, these are people's fathers, these are people's sons, these are people's sisters, mothers. They are not just numbers. These are human beings. And I don't know what they're doing. I cannot say this is one thing they've done with this Benue issue, that you will say, oh, the government is taking proactive steps, aside the president going there to see.
And deploying
security agencies. Where any arrests, no arrests have been made. What is it going to be something we're discussing? And that's just going to be
whether we like it or not, it's still going to happen. If this is going to happen, listen, it's unpleasant for a lot of people. It continues to happen
even after Yelewata.
Exactly. It will continue to happen if they've decided that Benue is their you know when you say parasitic behavior. Yeah, if Benue is your target, if Benue is their target, that's where they're going to be. Benue is not far from Kogi. Benue is not far from Nasarawa. Benue is not far from Abuja.
This Nasarawa you mentioned, there are several people who spoke and say many of the attacks are actually launched from Nasarawa into Benue. There's actually a speaker who directly called out the governor of Nasarawa State that he is not doing anything to stop those attackers who are coming across the border into Benue, destroying lives, destroying property.
I hate the fact that journalists are talking about security issues, and we have people who are supposed to be doing the work. So when they come out, they'll give us all these, their grand name, Operation Tiger in the monkey shadow, and that's all that we hear. We'll see all the paraphernalia of their attire, and they will go, line up, go to Benue, look, and everybody goes back, sleeps on their pillow, while these people are reliving their trauma on a daily basis.
Even beyond trauma, the fact that this might can still happen is one of the
it's still happening. There were several attacks after Yelewata.
Exactly, and it's like the people came out to protest, you dispersed them with tear gas. What have you done? It's like we're going around the issue without actually
doing anything. It's
about
like
the
they're
issue.
even afraid of the headsmen. Let's call it what it is. It's like you're afraid of the headsmen because you know they are quick to violence. Small talk where we say, I don't want your animals cannot graze on my family tower. My arm, you've cut off somebody's arm.
And you forget that, I don't know which of the stories we took, that said some settlements are under the rulership, the control of all these bandits and terrorists in this same country.
This is David that Ben spoke to and was with us on the show before the town hall yesterday. He came from the hospital because he said he needed to share his story. He has a machete wound on his back. The bandage you're seeing there is covering a bullet wound as well. And he lost his 3 sons and his wife in the attack. And he's not okay. He said it. He's not okay, but he said he had to come and share his story. And we can talk about it, but the numbers are there. Dozens of villages have been completely razed to the ground. Over 600 and something people have been killed in one local government, according to one of the traditional rulers who was there. I think it was the Tor Lobi. Then also over 7,000 deaths in Benue, and all of them agree that these are underreported numbers.
So you see, that's my own. It's a simple. We can sort this out like using a hot knife through butter. It's a simple, clear. Sit down with yourselves and be honest with each other. Government representatives, we talk as if these people have no leadership. You have government sitting in Benue State. You have government sitting in Nasarawa State. You have government sitting in the neighboring states. What are you guys doing? Can't you guys all come to the table and sit down if you are really intent on quashing what the Fulani headsmen are doing? But if you guys are afraid and it is somehow funded or there's some sinister movement behind that, I don't understand why this can't be sorted out once and for all. More than 7,000 people have died. We think it's beans because we are not, because it's not, you know, we say it's not my Lagos. It's not Lagos. Thank God it's not Lagos. I think that just removes yourself from what is going on. It's your country. These Fulani headsmen, I remember when it was, I think it was in Ibadan, that's Oyo, the next Osun State, where they were even panicking that Fulani headsmen were even
encroaching.
I swear, they're even citing, just some sightings of the Fulani headsmen. Oh, everybody began to panic.
So let me say something. One of the speakers talked about the fact that the governor, I think it's Reverend Father Elia, had even told the people that they don't have a right to defend themselves, or they should not resort, let me not use those words, that they should not resort to self-defense. And one or two of the speakers tackled him on that. So they should lay themselves out like lambs to slaughter. That's one of the things. And secondly, back to this Fulani herdsmen thing, and it was quite interesting to hear some of the speakers mention that they do not believe it's actually Fulani herdsmen. They believe it's people wearing, masking, and masquerading as Fulani herdsmen to commit these crimes. He also talked about the fact that for many of them, they came from different areas of Benue State, that they had been living peacefully. That the tradition was that when the Fulani herdsmen came, they would go to the traditional ruler and say, Koko, we're here just for you to know that we're here. We're going to be here for so long. Somebody even brought up climate change as well. There was another gentleman that spoke and said, okay, maybe we should farm grass. But that comment seemed to light people's heads up, because why should I change from farming what I want to farm grass, almost as if I need to bribe people to leave me alone?
So, Lou, you said something here on this table. I don't know when, because we've tackled a lot of issues and talked about a lot of things on Jasiri. I know you said something once, and you said, when new people enter your community, you will know. You will see that this person, you will know. You will know, you will observe. So these people have stayed with people of Benue. They've interacted with them. Some of them even learned the language. So you notice that, and then
different.
You need to know when the air is different. If you watch the Slavic movies and all that, when there's a sort of movement, when the birds fly suddenly, when there's always an imbalance, and it always shows. But I think we take things for granted, and we're like a daisy.
And they called out the security agencies. They called out the security agencies because there's also some who have said things along the lines that the security agencies withdraw, and that's how you know an attack is coming. So how is it that security agencies withdraw when an attack is coming? How is it that people are running? He ran to the police station, and they told him that they only had 1 or 2 bullets, that he should go and meet the military. Is Nigeria a real country?
Honestly, I am wondering when we're seeing countries that are fighting full-blown war, in Israel, Iraq, all these countries who have seen war, and you will still see that there is a counter-attack when they attack them. But this is happening within our walls. If we cannot protect within our walls, imagine, God forbid, we have an external invasion. How are we going to survive?
Come on, Delta State, Delta, that how many children were missing that we talked about it here. Come on, Delta, we can't even, if we cannot tie our shoelaces, if we can't lace our shoes, here,
and
it's
even so convenient that the security agencies are always missing when these people are entering. What are we doing to protect the borders? It's almost sounding like they get a heads up of some sort and then just disappear from where it's happening for a convenient amount of time, and then they come back and start giving speeches. It's just, I don't know.
Don't you see sometimes you look at the country, you see all sorts of foreigners walking about, and you are wondering that what is happening at our borders. Haven't you noticed that every time there's a clampdown or a regulation or banning something, that is where the influx of that thing that was banned is at its highest.
Yeah.
And you're wondering that, okay, so are we just going to leave our border porous? Anybody can just come in and go, commit atrocities and run out?
And I'm sorry, so for me, oftentimes feels very convenient to say that it's people, foreigners, crossing the border, committing these crimes and running away. We need to go on a break.
All right, I mean, this was such a powerful conversation. Sad, but I mean, instead of the regular 2-hour town hall, we had to extend it to 4 hours because more people were still coming out and wanting to speak. And we're not leaving it at just this. We're planning a larger Middle Belt region town hall. But if you missed this one, please be on the lookout. It's up on our YouTube channel and will also be replayed on the station. News Central is committed to accountability, open dialogue, and lasting peace. And it's a commitment that we will stand by. So we'll take a break here, and when we come back, we've got some hot stories for you, so stay with us.
All right, it's time to get into other stories on the show this morning. Let's begin with an update on a story from earlier this week. The woman seen in a viral video giving her child something to take from a sachet which typically contains alcohol has come out to say, no, it wasn't alcohol. She didn't present herself to the police as she should have. Instead, she now claims that the sachet she tore open with her mouth on video was in fact pre-emptied. And the content of the sachet she gave the child was what? Coca-Cola, is it? She continues with revealing the rest of the video that we didn't see, and I think we should watch it before we continue.
Good evening, everyone. Please, don't be offended. It's about the video that I posted, that was last week, about the artistic. Please, that is not that thing is cool. I posted inside. I cannot make that. It's not nice, please. I don't know, since I posted that video, people have been stabbing me and dragging me up and down. But to be sincere, it's not actually. Maybe it's just only 5 minutes. I can't. I'm not that kind of careless woman. I don't even take it. Please, this video, please forgive me. Mama, please tell her that she forgive us. You're not stating content, though. Please, it's only content, please. Please, we are begging Nigeria. Forgive us, please. We are sorry.
If it wasn't please, then that's not yet. Now my brother wife, I don't want to regret. So no offense.
I'm just confused. How can this be funny? Is she supposed to just get away?
Wait. When the video made its way online, the Nigerian police announced that they were launching an investigation into the matter and asked for anyone with relevant information to come forth. Now that she's claiming it was just a soft drink and not alcohol, will this stop the police from investigating? We'll have to wait and find out what the police think. But let's see what Nigerians are saying about her clarification. That's never an alcoholic drink. I said that the moment I first saw the video. It was so obvious, so many reasons in that video. Just surprised some people fell for it. Hopefully she knows how to utilize this found attention she will get out of this one.
Huh? What are you
saying? Of course it's not gin. That toddler would have been shook if gin had touched her mouth. Her expression would have said it all. Regardless, lady, find ethical ways to create content online and leave your child out of such pranks. This is an offense against Child Rights and Social Media Regulation Act. She must be arrested and prosecuted. So you want it to trend. Unnecessary attention seekers should have a jail term. Once one or two enter jail for 1 or 2 weeks, they will start creating content responsibly. Baby under 6 months should be fed exclusively breast milk, not even Coke. Sugar at that age is a no-no. Make them run tests on that baby if they find alcohol in her system. The mother, brother, wife, husband, and the camera person should face the music. And let's take this last one. The attention you're looking for, you've gotten. I just suggest a light punishment just to teach others to stay away from deceiving the public in the name of content. Please let Lolo talk before she blows up.
You know, there are no consequences for the things that people do on social media. I am so for social media regulation. You know, social media is somewhere that people take hook, line, and sinker. She might tell us purportedly that she put whatever soft drink inside that sachet. You know how something becomes a trend. There are many uneducated people that will look at that video and think it's all right to give their baby. And she alluded to the fact that it helps her sleep. She gives it to her to make her sleep. And is there no consequence for the things that people do on social media in the name of clout? This baby has no say in what is happening to her. They are using her as content, and she's even laughing and finding it funny. How can this be funny? That is why I no longer go on TikTok, because I cannot bear to see all these children they use in this content. They are helpless. Nobody is there to protect them. Even if she's feeding a 5-month-old soft drink.
It's the way she said for me. It's the way she said, baby, please help me tell them. Oh.
It's the foolish laughter from me. Last week when we were talking about speed Darlington, I said clout. This is the example of what this generation, or let me not just make it generation, this is an example of what we're dealing with in Nigeria now. You sat down, opened a soft drink, poured out the contents of that sachet, which has some level of alcohol in it, put in the soft drink, and then cut that part out and uploaded it because you wanted to trend. Clout is going to send people to jail. And the Lagos State government needs to still do an investigation. Let's check that this child is safe. Let's check. It's not enough.
Are you telling me when you pour something out of a content,
it's not sachet?
Tolu, so the alcohol in that thing has evaporated. Did she wash it out with water, or did she put a syringe inside to be able to clean out
the fact that she even mixed gas with alcohol, giving that baby Coke? Look, I think it's high time the security, or what, I don't know, the judicial system starts to punish people for what they say they did. If Speed Darlington was punished, I don't know whether or not this is a consequence of Speed Darlington's action, but I blame him.
It's a consequence of a lot of people's clout-chasing actions.
The judiciary, because if people keep coming out and say, oh, I did this, I did that, just to get clout, it will shock you how crazy social media.
And if somebody will murder somebody in front of us on social media, and they will tell us it was for clout.
They'll tell you to deny what your eyes see.
Yes, what your eyes saw.
That's where I was going. Listen, where I was going was this. First off, let's backtrack. We had Nedu on this show on a Hot Topics Special Friday. And Nedu had said, we will begin to see that people are going to be doing more extreme things because everything is beginning to be monetized. Now that's one. Number two, you want to trend. And so you empty the sachet that has alcohol and you put it with something else that is soda. You put it soda. And because how are we? That already is subject to interpretation, subjectiveness from every. 4 of us on this table can have different interpretations of what she did. Maybe you see that. We can interpret it in one way, that maybe you've seen that this thing has run away faster than you, and you now want to turn it around to make sense. And you say, oh, I emptied it and I poured soda inside, and then, but there we saw you doing this.
Giving wait. Guys, our producer is telling me, let's watch this video again, the initial video. Our producer is telling me that there might be some funny play out.
Of course, are we babies?
The original video, the video, let's just watch the video you played of her clarification, okay? So let's look at the pants that she's wearing. This is the original video in the cutout, right? And, and then what they said they did before. She's not wearing the same pants.
Of course, are we babies?
So, and the producer had just pointed out that if you're claiming that this is how it started, why are you not wearing, why are you not wearing the same pants? That apparently you could be remaking this simply to get out of this situation.
Of
Nice
course,
catch, Rukia.
Did we not see her cut? She literally just.
She has a hat on. She has like a hair bonnet. We're not babies.
That's why I'm saying that it's damage control now, and now you're
Somebody even said she tore the thing with her teeth.
She did.
On camera.
She just did.
So how did you seal it back?
So you are using us, and
Can you see her
Can you see her tearing that thing?
And do you see that people on X or the reactions so far are just everyone's believing what she's saying? Why? It's clear.
It's because she's guaranteed that nobody.
She might
can
not have
prove
fed it to the baby, but she simulated. She inferred.
And it can also, who's to say that you have not been feeding the girl for so long that she has gotten used to the
Exactly.
teeth?
Parents give their children certain things
to make them sleep.
Have we not seen on this? We've seen on the streets of social media a young child that was smoking shisha. We didn't see it. There are so many terrible things that people do to children on social media. We saw a baby being held down while they were gluing some rubbish frontal. The girl was screaming, crying. Mucus was coming from the baby's nose, and I'm wondering that who is going to save us from ourselves? These mothers that are babies themselves, who are parenting babies. No. And if you come out and begin to speak against these things, it feels as if, oh, Atilolo, you're old school, but go to where old people are.
Social media regulation, I think, is needed. This is a time
we need to regulate it.
We are going to keep seeing things like this, even worse, more extreme, because it's accepted. Because there are no punitive measures, there are no consequences. It is, I said it's a wild, wild west.
A friend of mine, I did a video some weeks ago where I said, how can you make having a challenge where you imitate people that have disabilities?
Oh, yes.
Look at me, I have many parents I know who have children that they have to wipe their mouth, wipe their butt all their lives. Yeah. And you go on the streets of social media and a prominent influencer will come and be doing like this and spitting, and you think it's okay. It's fun and game.
Yeah.
I think part of their punishment, they should make them go into homes that take care of special needs children and make them serve community service. Wiping them, feeding them, cleaning their floors. Maybe in 1 week, they will know what it is.
All right, guys, let's take a break here. You're watching Jasiri. After the break, we'll bring you more hot topics for today. Stay with us.
Man, the seats are hot for us, and I'm sure that these stories are jarring for you. But our second story is one that's painful and infuriating. It's a story that has left many deeply heartbroken, and that is the tragic death of Chioma Ajana, a young, brilliant law student of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, UNIZIK, whose life was reportedly cut short due to negligence. Ajana, who was diabetic and dependent on insulin, died this week. Now, according to reports, she got locked out of her room at El Mada Hostel after her door jammed with her insulin still inside. When she went to management for help, she was allegedly told she had to pay a hefty fee of 120,000 naira to get a spare key, even though one was available and she was in medical distress. She reportedly pleaded for 3 days, repeatedly explaining that her medication was trapped inside the room. But hostel staff allegedly stuck to a strict no key without payment policy, calling her careless. As her condition worsened, Ajana collapsed on the 6th of July and was rushed to the hospital in hypoglycemic shock. but it was too late. She sadly passed away 3 days later on Thursday.
So the heartbreak didn't stop there. She was said to be on the verge of being called to the Nigerian Law School bar, a dream she'll now never get to fulfill. And her story has sparked massive uproar on social media with the hashtag Justice for Isabella now trending. Students and activists are demanding accountability from El Mada Hostel, UNIZIK, and many are calling for a full investigation into their policies. Someone online also claimed a similar experience of being locked up for a week and asked to pay 90,000 naira just to regain access. Friends and classmates remember Jana as smart, as driven, and full of hope for the future. Now, her death has become a painful reminder of how broken systems and a lack of empathy can cost lives. We stand with her family and the wider UNIZIK community in demanding answers and justice. So, let's see what Nigerians are saying.
Let's approach this matter objectively. We claim our society is lawless, yet we're not willing to follow the rules ourselves. There is a state law governing spare keys, which the lady, a law student, signed before taking up the hostel. Given the circumstances, she should have found a way to pay the money, knowing her life was at risk. I commend the woman for adhering to the law, but there's room for mercy. Perhaps a compromise could have been reached, considering the extraordinary circumstances. The woman's actions demonstrate her commitment. Wait, Catherine, demonstrates her commitment to following the rules. While the law should be respected, there's room for compassion and understanding in exceptional cases. Wow. Weird rules, I must say. Possibly the lady in charge refused because many students must have lied and got away with health reasons. Since evidence of her illness must be in her room, she would have reported to the university authorities within the 3 days. May her soul find rest.
Can it?
This story no complete. Emotions aside, there's a whole lot more to the story. She has no roommates. Did she really communicate her condition to them and they still refused her entry? 3 days isn't 3 hours. If she was refused entry for 3 days, then there's more to the story. To think that this El Malda hostel is an expensive hostel in UNIZIK, Oka, and parents pay for it thinking their children are safe, not knowing that they're being exploited by the hostel management. Students in El Malda hostel are really suffering and something has to be done. Honestly, this is heartbreaking and absolutely unacceptable. UNIZIK should be held responsible for enforcing such an insensitive policy without considering medical emergencies. Bureaucracy shouldn't cost someone their life. The authorities must investigate this immediately. For 3 days? Where was she staying for 3 days? No housemate could lend her money to get a spare key. There is more to the story. Questions need to be asked. It is so sad she lost her life, Sha.
Is nobody talking about the 120,000 naira for a spare key? Oh, am I missing something?
No, you're not
missing
anything.
something.
No.
That is it? Who do we call the key maker or the clinic or something? And then they come and you do it.
You know, I was saying the first reaction just got me speaking the small Yoruba that I picked up along the way, and maybe I may not be allowed to repeat it.
It's not a good Yoruba that you picked up.
It's always the bad thing we pick up the languages first.
Maybe I may not be allowed to repeat it again, but the truth is, I tell people, forget sentiments. And I always tell people, put the mirror back in front of you, because when you say, you know, it's easy to remove yourself from a situation, but if you were the one in that position, if your sister were the one in that position, if your mother were the one in that position, if your niece were the one in that position, medical emergency over anything for me. Medical emergency over anything.
That
guy,
first tweet,
her insulin is in the room.
That first tweet where the guy was saying, oh, it's us that want to have a lawful society, and the woman was just doing the right thing because those are the rules over a young woman's life.
It's like a fire has broken out in a room. And you say, I cannot come out because I don't have my key. And you're saying I have to pay 120 to pay for the key to come out. And I'm battling with trying to keep myself alive, and I die in the process. Because you cannot open the door for me because according to you, I don't pay money.
When I'm looking at everybody, because this hits a bit home for me because I understand what being a diabetic is. And she's probably a type 1 that is so dependent on it. Because whatever she puts in her mouth, if the insulin is not there, she cannot process it. And sometimes when you get into this shock, your brain can freeze. You're not thinking properly. And 1 pen of insulin, a pack of it is 100,000 naira for those that use these things. And I'm wondering that even if for anything, if she did say something, you can stay by the door.
Let her go and get the
Let her
insulin
go
and lock the door again.
Lock the door. You can even be in the room, pick up your insulin that you claim you need, and you go and come out. And you know, young people sometimes want to test their bodies to the limits of what. I know that there might be some things to investigate, but when I hear investigate again, Tolu, I'm tempted to just strangle someone. Because when you keep saying investigate, this matter is going to go down. Nobody's going to do anything. Their child is dead.
She's finishing university. All the hopes she has. All the things her family
what
has.
I've found it that is that Nigerians are so insensitive, especially when they do not understand medical condition.
Do you even have to understand?
They don't even know.
Exactly. Do you even
it's
have
like
to
someone
understand?
that has asthma.
An emergency is an emergency.
That
A medical
means
emergency for that matter.
Inhaler. If you've never had it, you might never know what it is to lose air. When I was in uni, my roommate never told me she was asthmatic. In fact, I didn't even know what being asthmatic was. And she never said it. We now put coil
inside the room.
in the room. I was the one that put it. But it wasn't the first time I put it.
Yeah.
And she never said. I just noticed at night, she was gasping. I swear to you, I didn't even know what was happening. I just started praying in tongues. Of course, that was what I knew. I just called her boyfriend, got her to the hospital. It was that week I knew what being asthmatic was. Nigerians need a bit of education, especially when it comes to medical emergencies.
But do we need to be educated to be empathetic?
To be empathetic.
Do we need to be educated to be empathetic? Do we need to know somebody in the situation to be empathetic? Because I need to ask myself now, that woman that told that young girl no, how do you feel?
How do you feel now?
How do you feel now?
Even if she was lying.
Are you still doing your show? And remember what I tell you, when Nigerians, because we are powerless in so many other areas of our life, where Nigerians have power, where they have a title, where they have something, we will sit on that thing like it is the whole world.
You know how
do you feel?
You know how she will feel? She will feel justified. She will feel like she deserves a raise because she followed the law. She will feel like she's going to get away with it. Look at Sylvester's story. His mother just sadly passed.
Of course.
No justice.
You cannot tell me heartbreak did not play a role in that woman's passing.
Whatsoever. So this woman will go about carrying her shoulders like, I didn't do anything wrong. I upheld the law.
You know, sometimes jungle justice. Sometimes you just want to, like Lolo said, just want to strangle. Sometimes, because I think we give people too much credit to expect empathy. You don't need to be educated to have empathy. It should be a part. You're human. You should feel empathy towards somebody. This is a child.
Do you know this girl might actually even be hiding her condition? Because she doesn't want people to look at her in a certain way. Yeah. Anytime you whip up something that people don't understand, people just start to fear, and they don't have understanding of what's going on, and they just demonize it immediately. So many things is in this story that we have not completely heard. But the fact is that somebody has died as a consequence of whatever. Rules are not made for man makes the rules, no rules for man. We can bend it, we can shift it.
Yes.
We can say, okay, let me give you benefit of doubt. And if it was a lie, there are consequences for lying.
Now, I don't know what the university will come out and say. There's a hashtag, justice for Isabel.
They will distance themselves
Exactly.
quickly.
Or highest, you release a statement and say, okay, we distance ourselves, we condemn. You know, they use these flamboyant words that seem to, that makes it all flowery, but it doesn't make it better.
And the rule does not even make any sense, because if you're saying that I have to pay for a spare key, any random person can go and make payment and just call a random number. My hostel is 17A and get the spare key.
No, I'm sure they'll know that you stay in those hostels or whatever.
But you know,
So
the people who also stay in hostels,
it's 120,000 the cost of, even if she was owing. Maybe they'll say, we're going to move your things out of the room. Because I'm wondering, there must be more to this story, because why would just a spare key be 120,000 naira?
There will be.
I doubt that very much. There must be some other things that even if she was owing, they might even be right that, pack your things out. If you want to go home, call your parents.
I don't think so. And I think the parents also will not take it with levity, because everything, this is a senseless death.
And they have don't they have a medical center
or something?
And I will know that this girl is diabetic and even give her insulin pending.
What kind of?
There's so much to this story. Anyway, should we make it to our last?
Yeah, we can. We checked. I've checked now. Right now, there hasn't been a statement from UNIZIK as of yet. But You can't wait too much longer because even your silence and the delay in making a statement makes it seem like you don't care. So
I'm not even having faith in whatever statement they're going to put out.
UNIZIK come out with a statement. You need to follow it with an investigation, and you need to be transparent
about it.
And we continue to.
Because we ask if it's one of. Listen, if it is your see this thing.
This week has been special. But we've made it to our last story today, and it's one that is quite interesting. The next story is stirring serious debate. The Benin blogger boldly declared that Nigerians are not ready to work and that the work culture in the country is poor. He also said that the problem is not the government. It is in the fact that people themselves, it is in the people themselves. That one comment has since exploded into a national debate, with some agreeing, citing entitlement, laziness, while others are clapping back, saying Nigerians work some of the hardest jobs under the toughest conditions. These words definitely got people triggered. So, but before we share our own one cover on this, maybe we need to see what she wrote that started this debate.
As at last year, if you ask me about the work culture in Nigeria, I would tell you how there are no jobs in Nigeria, how the government is this, the government is that, there is no jobs, people graduate, there's nothing, blah, 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 blah. Guys, in the course of starting this business, do you know that I can confidently tell you, and I don't care if I'm cancelled, I can confidently tell you that Nigerians are not ready to work. The work culture in Nigeria is too poor. The minute you are not there every day to shout, why is this way? Why is that this way? Why is that this way? Everybody is relaxed. It doesn't matter if you've given them a timeline. It doesn't matter if you've told them, oh, this is the time we have to do this. This is the time we have to do this. It does not matter. I did a virtual interview of over 50 people. And I can tell you that only about 3 or 4 came properly dressed. Now, even if your background isn't good, you blur your background. Even if you can't blur your background, there are all these wallpapers that you use and backgrounds that you use so that it doesn't. Only 3 or 4 people out of about 50 people spanning over 5-6 days came prepared. People don't appreciate hard work. People don't appreciate, that is, there's no work ethics. There's no willingness to work. There's no hard work. There's no nothing. And to imagine we are the young generation, we are the youths. How are we? The older generation, they were so educated, they spoke so well, they learned new words. Their diction was so good. But this my new generation, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, and I hope that God helps us. I really hope that God helps us, because the problem is not the government. I don't want to hear anybody complain about the government. We are the problem. We are 100, we are the whole problem, and it is very, very sad.
Okay, let's take reactions.
I wonder why the camera went to me.
No, I don't think we have, okay, very quickly because of time. It's so unfair to say, I don't want to hear about the government, we are the problem. We understand there's a work ethics problem, but to find a solution, you have to understand the root cause. That's where the government becomes the problem. Where are the proper schools?
Hey. No.
When reward system doesn't motivate people and working condition isn't inspiring and there's no reward for meeting KPI, I want to say bye. For meeting KPI, only punishments. Okay, it's all right. I think it is all about the compensation, because many employers don't pay for value. The wage structure is poorly coupled with terrible work conditions. You're paying someone $60K to work from Monday to Saturday, 8 to 5. Where will the motivation come from? Abroad, we do better. Until you become an employee of labor, you'll never understand what she's saying. I think employer. Yeah. But sadly, she's right. Definitely not everybody, but definitely a majority. Yeah. People come in nonchalantly unprepared for interviews, and even those you employ, you have to set up systems to monitor them, because 90% of the time, they aren't going to do their job with professional ethic until they're supervised. I mean, I used to be that way too until I moved to a saner climb, saw things differently, and also now an employer of labor. I agree with her 100%. Shout out to those few Nigerians who still got the work ethic. Most Nigerians are blinded by the quick buck mentality. Most want to reap 200% while sowing 25%. How this culture started in the younger generation, I don't know. What's even more painful is most graduates can't even speak good English. Forget big grammar now. Just simple and correct English, most can't speak. Sincerely speaking, I really don't know where we're headed to as a nation. We won't take any more because of time. Let's drop this, because I want the ladies to have their say on this.
Have your say in what we
We say, radio. So it has stuck with us. I think it's your generation they're calling out to.
Yes. So I understand that, you know, I get what she's saying, and I agree with her to a large extent. But let's not forget that it goes both ways. And to be honest, I also don't care if I'm cancelled. But we've talked a lot about people not being willing to work. Do we talk a lot about the reward that employment actually brings? To be honest, a lot of young people these days see every job as a side gig. And do I blame them? No, because your hard work is hardly ever recognized. Your hard work is hardly ever recognized. You work in a company, and the people who are getting the perks are either those who are experienced or sit down, you're still young, what do you know? Or either those who are having something to do with the boss, or somebody who literally just came out of nowhere, and you're thinking, I've been working here for the longest time. Maybe I'm prioritizing this work more than I should. And then you're looking at, so I get what she's trying to say, but then again, let's look at it both ways. It goes both ways, to be honest. Employment in this part of the world is not entirely, would I say, recognized and adequately rewarded. And that's the absolute truth. That's the absolute truth. So people come with their minds, you know, halfway in, like, if I get the job, fine. If I don't get it, fine. After all, I'll work here for 10 years and they will not still increase my salary. Gone are the days they will do appraisal and add money to it. Now they'll just tell you, oh, you did this wrong, you did this right, do better. Or you do something and then they're telling you, oh, good work, the reward for good work is more work. Honestly, it is not encouraging. If you go to saner clients, like someone said, the Western culture, you work, you know that if you work hard at something for like 2-3 years, you get paid more, you get more exposure. These days, employers don't even invest in training their staff. You have to go do something yourself. And even if you do it, you still don't get rewarded. So what exactly do you want people to do?
I just laugh because everybody will just say you are very old school. You see, when it comes to work, maybe because half of the time, all through my career, I've had to do everything for myself. And a lot of people, I will use my own self as a standard, because anything you want to do, whether work-wise, I tell people, I said, it is you first. You are the one that is putting yourself out there. I know that Nigeria is a special country. I would say peculiar, because we have many issues. I quite agree with some of the things she said, though I would not say everybody, because definitely there will be a crop of okay people. But have you had to be on an interview panel before? And you are wondering, these same people that say they don't reward our job, that is a beautiful, a select crop. I actually agree with you. But I would still agree with a management person like Tolu, because I would say that I know it's someone that worked in an office, young person. She was so brilliant at her job. I'm telling you, this is not hearsay. I heard it from her boss. She said she was a Gen Z kind of person, and she just told the office that, I don't think I have time for this. But the management called her, and they had a meeting, because they said her work ethics are impeccable. She was one of the best they had, and she had Gen Z mentality.
Okay, so
what they did is that they danced to her tune, because she brought value to the office. So some of these people that are demanding for higher pay, better this, better that, I sincerely believe that if your company finds you valuable, you can negotiate better than we could ever.
I get what you're saying.
But some of them are just not up to par.
The first job I ever did in Lagos, a whole panel sat down to interview me, and I thought that it was, I mean, I'm not saying it's a anyhow job, it's a good job. But after the interview, I was thinking, okay, I'm coming here to do something. For the first 3 months, I was buying bread and akara for people.
Hello, did I make you buy bread and akara?
No. Those are funny places. I don't understand that.
There are people who are valuable, right? But trust me, there are also people in that organization, they don't even like the fact that the organization sees you as valuable. Yeah. So they will try to rubbish I'm going there every day wearing suit and tie, looking my best, trying to put in my...
And then they said you to go and buy bread and akara and you
buying bread and akara.
When you are not learning,
that you need to...
Is it a fashion institute that you are learning?
Now they'll say you don't have manners, you don't have ethics. There are people that have been there before you.
So look, I want to hear your take. I
probably have done I don't know how many interviews in the past few years.
Plenty.
And I'm not one to get stuck on even degrees, because we've recognized that, especially with media, there are people who bring outside perspectives that are bigger than having a journalism degree. But from interviews, you will know where the red flags are. and there are so many red flags. I remember I complained last year to fill one position. I was doing interviews for 6 months because I don't just ask you about your degree. I don't ask you just about your work ethic or your work background. I want to know who you are as a person, because your corporate organizational culture. What is it that they say? Culture eats strategy for business, for breakfast. So if you're bringing people in who don't have an understanding of we all are here to do, and I lead by example with my team. My team knows if I need to be here at 9, I'm going to, blessings, I will be here at 9. If I need to sleep over, I will sleep over. So I cannot expect anything less. But even when you're showing and leading by example, this side hustle mentality that everybody has now, it's affecting business. But I like something that Lolo said about the story she shared. They adjusted to her. And I think that's where the compromise is. Work culture has changed. The ethics and the motivation have changed. And organizations also need to adapt to Gen Z and the people coming after them. We will continue this.
It's our time.
Just like that, we made it to the end. Wait now. And just like that, we made it to the end of another week on Jasiri. From the headlines
I was listening.
to the hearts of our communities, thank you for showing up, staying curious, and choosing conversations that matter. And as you ease into the weekend, remember, being informed is good, but being intentional is even better. Take care of yourselves, check in on someone else, and don't forget, courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it simply shows up every morning and says, let's try again. We'll see you guys on Monday. Bye.